The Count returned to a small drawing room on the first floor, sat down, and crossing his legs motioned to the young man to take a seat also. Andrea assumed his gayest manner. "You know, my dear Count," said he, "the ceremony is to take place this evening. At 9 o'clock the contract is to be signed at my father-in-law's." "Ah, indeed?" said Monte Cristo. "What, is it news to you? Has not M. Danglars informed you of the ceremony?" "Oh, yes," said the Count, "I received a letter from him yesterday, but I do not think the hour was mentioned." "Possibly my father-in-law trusted to its general notoriety." "Well," said Monte Cristo, "you are fortunate, M. Cavalcanti, it is a most suitable alliance you are contracting, and Mademoiselle Danglars is a handsome girl." "Yes, indeed she is," replied Cavalcanti, in a very modest tone. "Above all, she is very rich, at least, I believe so," said Monte Cristo. "Very rich, do you think?" replied the young man. "Doubtless, it is said M. Danglars conceals at least half of his fortune." "And he acknowledges 15 or 20 millions, said Andrea with a look sparkling with joy. "Without reckoning," added Monte Cristo, "that he is on the eve of entering into a sort of speculation already in vogue in the United States and in England, but quite novel in France." "Yes, yes, I know what you mean, the railway, of which he has obtained the grant, is it not?" "Precisely, it is generally believed he will gain 10 millions by that affair." "10 millions? Do you think so?" "It is magnificent," said Cavalcanti, who was quite confounded at the metallic sound of these golden words. "Without reckoning," replied Monte Cristo, "that all his fortune will come to you, and justly too, since Mademoiselle Danglars is an only daughter." "Besides, your own fortune, as your father assured me, is almost equal to that of your betrothed." But enough of money matters. "Do you know, Andrea, I think you have managed this affair rather skillfully?" "Not badly, by any means," said the young man. "I was born for a diplomatist." "Well, you must become a diplomatist. Diplomacy, you know, is something that is not to be acquired, it is instinctive. Have you lost your heart?" Indeed, I fear it, replied Andrea, in the tone in which he had heard Dorante or Valère reply to Alceste, at the Théâtre Français. Is your love returned? In Molière's comedy, Le Misanthrope. I suppose so, said Andrea with a triumphant smile, since I am accepted. But I must not forget one grand point. Which? That I have been singularly assisted. Nonsense. I have, indeed. By circumstances? No, by you. By me? Not at all, Prince, said Monte Cristo, laying a marked stress on the title. What have I done for you? Are not your name, your social position, and your merit sufficient? No, said Andrea, no, it is useless for you to say so, Count. I maintain that the position of a man like you has done more than my name, my social position, and my merit. You are completely mistaken, sir, said Monte Cristo coldly, who felt the perfidious maneuver of the young man, and understood the bearing of his words. You only acquired my protection after the influence and fortune of your father had been ascertained, for, after all, who procured for me, who had never seen either you or your illustrious father, the pleasure of your acquaintance? Two of my good friends, Lord Wilmore and the Abbé Busoni. What encouraged me not to become your surety, but to patronize you? Your father's name, so well known in Italy and so highly honored. Personally, I do not know you. This calm tone and perfect ease made Andrea feel that he was, for the moment, restrained by a more muscular hand than his own, and that the restraint could not be easily broken through. Oh, then my father has really a very large fortune, Count? It appears so, sir, replied Monte Cristo. Do you know if the marriage settlement he promised me has come? I have been advised of it. But the 3 millions? The 3 millions are probably on the road. Then I shall really have them? Oh, well, said the Count, I do not think you have yet known the want of money. Andrea was so surprised that he pondered the matter for a moment. Then, arousing from his reverie, now, sir, I have one request to make to you, which you will understand, even if it should be disagreeable to you. Proceed, said Monte Cristo. I have formed an acquaintance, thanks to my good fortune, with many noted persons, and have, at least for the moment, a crowd of friends. But marrying, as I am about to do, before all Paris, I ought to be supported by an illustrious name, and in the absence of the paternal hand some powerful one ought to lead me to the altar. Now, my father is not coming to Paris, is he? He is old, covered with wounds, and suffers dreadfully, he says, in traveling. Indeed? Well, I am come to ask a favor of you. Of me? Yes, of you. And pray what may it be?